Hey, everybody. I find that I do this a lot, and I'm not sure why. I just get so excited to be here. I get so excited to see you. And I don't get to see you, I know, but I do get to hear from you. And we do get to spend this time together. So, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Another hot day, right? Everybody just boiling. It's so hard to watch the news because everybody is so hot. It's record breaking. It is crazy. All right, I'm still trying to get myself on over here. I have to. I have to be on over here. Okay. Hey, Heidi, how is Washington? Is it hot? You guys remember when it was so cold? Hi, Eve, last winter, and we thought, oh, I just have some heat. I want to turn the AC on instead of the heater. Well, now we're here, and we're thinking, this is so horribly hot. Right now, where I am, it's not that bad. It's the middle 90s. Gets up there a little ways, but it's really not that bad. And the nights cool off. Oh, you're only 84, Heidi. That's not bad. I know that there's some places that are so, so hot. And I don't know. It's crazy. I have three sons that are in Rome this week, and it has been so hot that the transit has been shut down. Everything's been shut. They can't handle it. It's near 100. That really is pretty hot. And I guess all of Europe has record-breaking heat again. I saw on the news the other night where London is on fire. Homes are burning. I'm thinking, this is so sad. So Cheryl says it's hot in Connecticut. Yeah, remember I was supposed to go to Rome with them. Now they didn't have enough time to spend time with me in Rome, so I thought I'm not going to go there and just see them for a few minutes. And they're over there working this week, and so their free time would be very little. So I thought, I'm going to go back when it's not so hot because they said it's really unbearably hot. In fact, right now it's like midnight, something like that, and it's 85 degrees. That's hot. At least here we cool down. Yeah, Eve, you're about you went through Idaho Falls not too long ago. How about that? All right. And Heidi said she fixed the machine today and had to fix my hoop spring. I have never had to fix my hoop spring on my hoop before. So was that hard? Apparently you made it. What was wrong with your machine, Heidi, that you had to fix it? I think that wouldn't be very much fun. I'm going to show you what I did today because this is coming up. If you are going to take the Sturger classes, right now I have two in the pipeline. One is getting ready to get uploaded. It's all ready to go. We're just waiting for the technical part to dive in. And that would be Sturger 1. And that's where we talk about all the knobs and the buttons and everything the fourth thread overlock Sturgers will do. You have to be careful. I can't just say fourth thread because you can get fourth thread cover stitch. But we're talking about the overlock stitches. And we talk about all the knobs, the important knobs. So I've been working on Sturger 2 class, Beyond the Basics, because that first one really is basics, right? And I can't pull it up over here. Oh no, my phone is just so slow. Okay, I'm working on Beyond the Basics on this Sturger class. And this is number 2. And I'm echoing. I'm so sorry. I don't know why. He hasn't echoed before. I'm not doing anything different. The sound is off. I don't know what to do. Number 2 class, we talked about the more um, technical stitches. So we do the basic ones in the first class. The second class we go into more difficult stitches, the ones that maybe you don't use as often. And we also, hi Alice, we also do a project in the second class, okay? And I just finished the project today. I'm going to show you the project because it's kind of cute. It is a plant mat. So what I looked for was something that I could It's kind of a sampler where you're going to do a lot of different stitches in the project because once you learn them, if you don't use them, you forget. All right. So this is what it is. And it may not look a lot to you guys, but I tell you, it was a lot of work today. And I had trouble with my serger. And it's so fun to have trouble with your serger when Heidi talks about fixing her machine today. Um, there'll be more classes for the time. We'll talk about that. So right in this, we used 4 thread. We used ruching. We did pin tuck. We did flat lock stitches, and it is fun. And so when you've finished with this class and you get this with it, this comes with the class, you'll have a project you'll finish with it. Yep, Prairie Point. You bet. And it's done a little bit different way than you normally would do prairie points, but I thought it was really kind of fun. I just tried to figure out a way to put all these stitches together so they didn't look like they were a mess. Okay. So that's what I tried to do. All right. Yes, there'll be more classes for the Triumph. These are for the Triumph also because they're the overlock stitches, which the Triumph has. So I teach it on the Triumph. I use the Triumph to teach the class. In the first class, I also give you a little taste of what it is on the Victory or the Imagine because it has a different way of threading your needles. And I wanted you to see that. So we're going to cover a lot of things in it so that I'm just excited. When I get into the cover stitch and the chain stitch on the Triumph, it will just be for those larger machines or just a single cover stitch machine. Okay, somebody else says that somebody else's mic is chiming in. I can't hear it, so I actually have the sound off on my computer. If I don't, then I do get a ping pong sound. Remember, I used to do that all the time. Does anybody remember the green screen? I love the green screen. I'm excited about that green screen. Okay, I've been getting a lot of emails, so I want to cover a few things before I get into our demo today. I do, but I don't think that. Let me see what's in the background here. There might be something in the background. Nope, I'm all clean. I am all clean. I have nothing else open. Nothing at all. So if there's a problem, I'm really sorry. I'll have to go back and watch it and see if I can figure out what's going on. But I don't see it. All right. Kind of sounds like Michelle Aarons. What does Michelle do? Oh, really? There's something else going on? I hear nothing. I still hear nothing. I hear nothing. I'm so sorry. All right. It's the Patches webinar. I have nothing else open. Yep, I know who Michelle Aarons is. I love her. Okay. I got nothing else going on. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm looking. I don't see anything. I got nothing. I got nothing at all. I'm going to move it around here, and I still got nothing. Okay. Oh, it was you. I can't tell who you are, so you're anonymous to me because I am not able to bring it up. Yep, I'm not able to bring it up on my phone for some reason. And so you're listening to Michelle today, huh? How fun. I really like her. I think she is amazingly beautiful. I really, really like her. She's so, so smart. That's really good. Okay. Hi, Janet. You're the one. Okay. All right. So we talked about something already. What did we talk about? I don't remember what we talked about. That's how bad it is. I have too much stuff up in here. I gotta delete. Isn't that what Sherlock Holmes says? I gotta delete something to put something else in. And that's where I am today. I'm trying to delete everything. Oh, I know. I talked about the project for the surgery class, and I am so excited about that. I hope you join me. You will learn so much, and you will love your surgery when you're done. And then we're just going to get into more surgery classes. And then in the fall, I'm hoping to have more of the circus salad classes coming up. I'm working on it right now, but there are so many things to do. I just can't get everything done. Okay, I had put out a challenge to everybody last week. Yeah, I'm writing down so I don't have to delete. Um, that if they wanted to invite 10 qualifying friends to this group, that would receive a gift. But the qualifying part, you want to know what that means. That means that they have to go in on accept. Because if you can invite all sorts of people, but if they don't accept, then they're not part of it. And they really kind of need to be somebody that's interested in what we do. So that's part of the qualifying piece. Somebody that's interested in sewing or surgery or and making things that they would enjoy what we do. Okay? But they have to accept. So if you've invited somebody, I've accepted everybody that has tried to get in, and but they have to accept it on their end. So you invite them, and I approve it, then they have to come in and accept it. Okay? So if you've invited people, go back and say, hey, did you do that? Come on, let's get in there. Let's get that done. Anyway, I'm still laughing about Michelle Aarons. That's really funny. All right, so we covered that. I have to cross this off. I said, okay, we did that, we did that. Okay, next week, everybody is going to ask me when we're going to have, because I think I promised this to you, back in April. Kaya, my granddaughter, made all of her senior pictures, dresses. I'm not sure what you call them. Anyway, she's made prom dresses, she's made dresses, she's made all sorts of things. Hmm. I'm so sorry. Will I talk slower? I don't know what to do. Anyway, I finally got her wrangled. She's going to have some time for us next Friday. So during our project on the pins next Friday, she was going to do a fashion show for us. So if you're at all interested in how to sew clothing or what you can do with clothing or how cute they're going to be or how stinking cute she just is plain, join us next Friday. That will be our project on the pins. That will be the 29th at 10 o'clock, Mountain Daylight Time. All right? Because that's going to be fun. And we're also going to find out if people are interested in making a simple clothing project. And I'll put a poll out there. We'll pick out 4 different patterns. And if you would like to do something, I'm so sorry. Still not working. I don't know what to do. Next Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning, Mountain Daylight Time. And if you'd like a clothing project, I'll put a poll out there once I get Kaya to decide which maybe 4 she would choose from. And what we'll do is we'll put it out there and let you sign up for a class and see if you know how to do that. And I don't do clothing. I just like doing portraits compared to doing cartoon. I do the cartoon. She does the portrait. All right, that is good. I'd love a clothing project, so I like that new to wear. Okay, now the next thing, I've been getting a lot of emails, and so I figure if people are asking me these questions, maybe I need to address it here so that everybody knows instead of just answering one person at a time. All right, first of all, this class right here, yes, this is 2 projects in one class. 2 projects. This is the vinyl fuse, which I do not iron on. I just use it, and it has a zipper in it. It is fully lined right there, and you will learn how to make any bag. It doesn't have to be this bag. It can be any candy bag, any potato chip. It can be anything. It can be anything. It can be cloth. It really doesn't matter. If you want vinyl on it, you can put vinyl on the inside also. So you'd have a double vinyl bag. And then this one right here, there was confusion about what the heck this was. This was a candy wrap or an Oreo bag, and I loved the words, but the shape of the Oreo bag didn't make it so that I could make a tote out of it, and I really wanted to make a tote. So I cut all the words out, I put them on a background and I made a toe out of it. This one is also fully lined like that, and the lining does not have any seams in it. You can put pockets in it if you wanted to. The pattern does not have pockets. It's very easy to do. And you don't have to have an Oreo bag if you don't want to. You can make this out of anything. You could do a combination of many of these bags, okay? It can be anything. And I talked about it in there so that you will know exactly what you can do with this, okay? All right. They are really cool. Somebody said I'm gonna let my puppy join me because yep, you can. I told you my son, one of my kids has a dog, and they went to St. Louis. They've been gone for a month, a whole month. Her family lives back there, and so they've been back there visiting. I'm gonna read that in a minute. Anyway, he's been gone for a month with his family, and they get back Sunday. I found out today. So we've just been taking care of their dog. Well, I don't have any dogs. I don't have any animals. I have my chickens, right? I barely can keep a plant alive. I don't want to have another animal that I have to keep alive. I was lucky my kids all lived, right? Anyways, we've had their dog for a month. And why I brought that up, I'm not really sure. I'm getting lost in my thoughts. Anyway, they'll be home on Sunday, so I won't have a dog anymore. So, yeah, bring your puppy. Yeah, you can. You can definitely do that. We've kind of grown a little attached to the dog, but we'll be excited when his family gets home because they can take care of him. He's run away 3 times in this time. 3 times, and all 3 times I went to their house and found them. And they're a mile away, which isn't a great distance, but there's a lot of streets and a lot of houses between our house and theirs. And, dogs are amazing. He found his way home. And one time I found him sitting under their truck, just sitting under there. And the next time I found him back on the back porch, looking in their sliding door, waiting for them to come out and play with them. Anyway, he hasn't run away again. I tied him up for a while. I hate to tie dogs up because I think I wouldn't want to be tied up. So I don't like to tie them up. But now he is happier. We have a really big backyard, and so he has lots of places to play and run. And he chased the cat the other day. It was really delightful. I mean, for me to watch him run so hard, not to hurt the cat. He didn't get the cat. Okay, I have one more project here I was going to bring out. So I showed you this the other day. Remember this cute little bee bag? All right. People are asking, is this embroidery? This is not. And I connect my sound. You know what? Is that any better? Because I haven't done anything. Does that sound better? Oh, yeah. If this man does not walk on his dog's paws will burn. All right. I'm going to go back to the Oreo bag there and the candy bag. She said, well, I kind of like the idea that my homework is to eat an entire bag of cookies or Butterfingers. I could eat a Butterfinger. Good. I could like that. Have y'all got your ice cream eaten for the ice cream bucket? Because that one will be out in the next very soon. All right. That one is on the pipe right now. I'm really excited. Does that sound change anything? I mean, has anything changed? I don't know what to do unless I've got to plug in my mic here somewhere. I just upgraded some new things on my computer. Are we getting any sound at all? Okay, tell me, is there sound? Tell me, can you hear me? Somebody answer. Sound. I am so sorry. I don't know what to do because I haven't changed anything from yesterday. Right. All right. Let's go back to this little guy right here. This right here is all done on the sewing machine. There's no embroidery machine. If you don't have an embroidery machine, you don't need one. This is all done on the sewing machine. Even that cute little bee. I love that bee. I love that bee. We have to do something with bees more. I think that's really fun. There's that bee, and there's this flower. is done on a different kind of fabric. And then on the back, I wrote, be happy. You do not have to write be happy. You don't have to write anything. You can leave it plain. And this, I know that be cute. This one is completely lined again. And the opening is what's different on this because it opens wide, meaning you don't just open it like this far. That zipper opens wide. You can go just like this, and it will stay that way. It will fit just like that. Okay. So did I answer your questions on that one? This one is not live yet. I thought it would be live this morning. It's not. So I'm expecting that all of the things will work together and it'll be live by tomorrow. But when it does go live, I will come on here and tell you that it's live, along with the surgery class. Okay, I will let you know. It should be by tomorrow. I can't imagine why it's not. It just kind of sometimes takes a little bit of time. Even when I post things on Facebook in the mornings, it'll say, I'll get back to you when it's ready to be go live. I'm thinking, really? Just go live. All right. Now, let's see. What are we talking about? All right. We have some requests to talk about. And if I see some more emails that come through, if I didn't write them all down, then we'll get to that again. Okay. Rag Quilt. Now, rag quilts were really a big thing when they first came out, and they're still out. They're still huge. People love them. They're easy to do. They're warm. They're fun. It's one you can throw in your trunk if you want to. I think I've got one in my trunk because they're just easy, fun, and you can wash them. And there's really they just get better with them. All right, I'm going to show you the way that this has been. This is the way most of the time they do that quilt. Okay. You just got squares and you just sew them together. And it's the process of what to do to get those. All right. Now that is the way a lot of people do that. And that's really cute. In fact, I just gave a neighbor of mine, I had two little grandbabies at the time. And so I had made baby quilts. I made them with 4-inch squares instead of that was the 6-inch square. And it was made out of all that cute little baby flannel. It was so cute. So cute. Can you imagine having a little baby on the floor just laying there? We just want to pick them up and cuddle them. But the thing I want to talk to you about today, I'm going to show you how to make the back quilt, but I want you to think about all the different things you can do with it, okay? It doesn't just have to be square, all right? This is a quilt, and it is a big heavy quilt. I'm just going to show you part of it. But the whole thing is not done in rag, and this one has not been washed nearly enough. The better, more you wash it, the better it gets. But look what you can do with that rag, all right? It doesn't always have to be in squares, and it does not have to be where you put squares together, because the squares work together with the together. And then I have a flower and I have rag. Okay? All right. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind for just a few minutes. I'm going to show you some diagrams that I have here and let you see all the possibilities of doing a rag quilt. Let me see if I can get these somewhat. I guess there is no order. All right, I'm going to go down here. All right. So if you had a rag quilt, I want to do. Okay, this is how most people will do a rag quilt. Okay, they will do it in squares. But what if you did all of those in half square triangles? And they could be 9-inch half square triangles, or they could be 6-inch half square triangles. What if you did it like that? And your rag would be right along there, plus all around the square. What if you took a 4-pack with a solid pack and did it that way? You see all the different varieties you can have with this? Okay, what if you did a log cabin? The possibilities are endless. I'm going to show you some more. Here's where I did the flower. Now with the flower, all you have to do is sew a half inch inside that petal and inside the circle, and then snip it. And we're going to get to that in just a minute. What if you did a heart? All right, simple. Now you can do the heart as the entire quilt. So this would be the whole quilt, and you have this heart on the inside, and you have rags around it. You can do that. Or you can make this one individual block, and you do a whole quilt of blocks with hearts in it, or a whole quilt of blocks with flowers in them, a whole quilt of blocks. What if you did them in strips, and you just had strips going like that? What if you did that? And I really like this one. What if you did it this way? Does that even start your mind to thinking, what could you do with a rag quilt? Are you thinking about it? Have you got some ideas? Yeah, there is no box. There is no box in my life. I don't like to be confined to a box. I'm kind of a free spirit. I like to be out and about. I don't like to be stuck anywhere. In fact, I don't like to have the walls close. I like to be able to put my elbows out. I like to be able to do what I want to do. All right. Okay, I have another part for you. All right, I'm going to show you this one up here. Now, when you do your quilt and you do around the outsides, and that's how this one is done. Around the outsides, all I did was continue with the rag around the outside. It's nothing more than that. That's all it is. Okay? But what if you did a border around the outside? Are you ready for this? This is how this moves is done. So this could be a border, and this is about 4 inches wide, 3 to 4 inches. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what you do. And you've got this big long strip going all the way around your quilt. But you don't want to just rag around the outside. What if you ragged? Now you've probably got squares in your quilt, okay? What if you ragged this one? I have sewn this in channels. Let me show you what I'm going to do. Okay, I've got channels, and I have cut it. I have sewn it about an inch apart in channels, and I'm going to cut. Remember when we did chenilling the other day? This is very similar to that. All right, so I sewn 1 inch apart. I have some channel quilts in there. I've got 1 inch apart. And then I've got 2 layers of flannel right here. And when I wash this, that flannel is going to get all sprayed out exactly like I want it to be. So what's going to happen is that your washer is going to get all bogged down. And so is your dryer. It's going to get all lots of shredded stuff in there. But that's okay because that's what you want. Just make sure you clean it out so you don't have the fire, right? Don't want to have that. But consider this because that would be so fun to have all that. It's kind of like a Ruffles feel to it all around the outside. Okay? So you got one solid border around the outside. Whatever your design on the inside, this would be your outside. Fun, fun. I love it. Okay, so right here, I have another way to do this. And let me show you the design I'm going to do. Keep moving you around, don't I? This is the design I want to do. So this is a simple design, nothing fancy. I've got my one block here and 2 strips there, and then an anchor block right there. And I'm going to do, 20 or 30 of these, just exactly like this. I'll vary the fabrics wherever they are. And then I'm going to put those together, but I'm going to turn them and turn them so that they're all going different ways. And then that's going to be my quilt. So that's what I want to show you today is how there's a couple of things you have to remember when you're doing a rag quilt. First of all, you got to have your seams have to be a half inch. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Not only do they have to be at least a half inch, if you go an inch, it's really too wide. There's too much there to spray. So if you do a half inch, you're good. All right, but you want to sew wrong sides together, which is crazy, right? Wrong sides, which when you're doing it, when I did all those baby quilts for people and for my kids, I would sometimes forget and sew the right sides together because we always sew right sides together, right? Well, you can't on this one. You got to do wrong sides together. And that's one thing you really need to know. Now, you can, these rag quilts, they will have a top and a bottom, and then they will probably have at least two layers on top. You know that some that I have done, I have had five layers, five layers of flannel. I just some baby quilts that way. And I did five layers, and that was a lot of layers. But it was so soft and squishy. I really, really liked it. But you're going to have a bottom and you're going to have a top. So, and then you'll have things in between, but you want to make sure your top is facing out and your bottom is facing out. Otherwise, like on this right here, I want to have, I want to have the right side facing out on both sides. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have the top and the bottom and probably something in between. Now, normally I would probably have three layers of flannel. So I would have my bottom and I would have my top right here. And then I'd have another layer of flannel, and that other layer of flannel will go right side up. So I have two that are facing forward, like this. I have two that are facing forward and one that is facing the other way. So that's where my wrong sides are. And then I will quilt this down and put them together. Now, some people have thought about putting batting in between. If you want a heavier quilt, you can do that. But make the batting about an inch smaller all the way around and just put it on the inside. You don't want your batting to be in this middle part. That is not going to work. You don't want it there. You can put another layer of flannel and then you can have it go all the way out or a woven cotton. That works too. If you want to put fleece in there, you want to put that one in it small because it's not going to fray like everything else. There are a lot of different things you can put in it. All right. And have you thought about what you can make with your rag quilt top? It doesn't have to be a quilt. You can make a pillow. Wouldn't that be fun? A nice, fun little pillow. You can make a bag. Nothing says you can't make a bag. You can also make a table runner. Lots of possibilities, right? All right. So the first thing I want to do, and I've got me some fabric right here. Let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make that one that has the anchor block. Let's go to that. There we go. I'm going to put my anchor block up here, like this, and like that, and like this. I have all my pieces together just like that. And that's how I want it to look when I'm done. So the one thing I need to do first is probably sew this one. And see, I wanted to go like this. You are not going to do that. You're going to put them together like this. But before I ever do that, I need to kind of quilt these because you can see if I put these two together right in here, this is going to be all bunchy once I wash it. Because you've washed flannel before and it's kind of crazy, don't you think? It wants to gather and it shrinks a little differently if you don't have it placed in the right way. So I'm going to put an X right in there. Now I could put an X on these, or I could just put a couple of straight lines in. And I think I'll put a couple of straight lines, and I'll put an X in my anchor block again. So let's go over there, and we'll do that first. Okay, I hope the sound has gotten a little bit better. I apologize. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Okay, I'm going to draw an X. I'm going to draw an X on the big. I'm just going to sew this down. Come on. And that's really all I need to do to that one. I've got an X going one way and an X going the, well, I have A line going one way and one going the other way. I'm gonna go there. My little point got and on these, I'm just going to put two lines all the way down. And really, these lines aren't really even going to show. I'm using white thread on my blue fabric, and it's really not going to show. I'm going to flip it around and put one more line in there. Okay. A walking foot, would that be good for this? It could be. I really don't get my walking foot out nearly enough. All right, the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to sew these together, wrong sides together. This is going to be my anchor block at the top. Now, the thing you need to do is you need to sew it at a half inch. So how am I going to find my half inch? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the needle down, and then I'm going to put my little ruler right here. I want to measure where I have to. If you had one of those little rulers that had your needle point in it where you could um, see how far your stitch is going to be, I can't find mine. So this works too. So I'm going to just put my ruler down there and I'm going to notice where I need to sew. And I got my needle in the right position, so I'm going to just have it right by the edge of my foot. And I have to remember how I'm going to do this. Okay, that one is done. Now I need to put this one on the side of my big block. And I'm going to put wrong sides together. So I have folded my pieces per se, and then I have stitched them together. Oh, this going to be so cute. And now I'm going to put them together like this. And I'm putting wrong sides together. You have to keep saying that out loud. I'm going to put wrong sides together. And notice I'm going to stitch over a seam. Don't worry too much about that. In the next process, we're going to take care of all that. Okay, let's go back over here. And we're going to continue with what we're going to do with our, remember this would be a great border. Here's the thing you need to do next. All right, so now the next thing I need to do is I need to go in there and snip every one of those. Got every half to a quarter, and it doesn't matter. I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to snip. This is why if you have spring-loaded scissors, then your life is going to be so much easier. Then you just go in there and you just snip, snip, snip. And you want to snip those top layers, whatever they're going to be. I'm going to show you something that I've got down inside here. This might be something you want to consider. Look right there. Now, once that frays out, look what I'm going to see. I'm going to see the back side of the fabric. If you wanted to, leave two layers under there. So you got one facing the back of your quilt and one facing the top that you're not going to cut. All right, 'cause that would give you that background fabric right there that you want. And that would just be on this one. So if you're doing panel quilting, just the baby quilt that I did, I had 6 layers of flannel that I just laid all out, all on top of each other, and I panel quilted all the way down. And then I cut between the panels, and then I snipped all of those. I did leave a layer that was facing up, but I did not cut. I wanted to be pretty there. But while you're doing this right here, it's really not going to matter because you have sewn them all together. But imagine you're on this side. Now what you have to do is you have to go in and cut. This drives me crazy, but that's what you have to do. This takes so long. If you got a good sharp pair of scissors, this nearly mine are not because you are. But make sure you do not cut your stitching down there. All right. Now you're going to do that with the whole thing, and you can see that once that is washed and dried and washed and dried. And when I say washed and dried, I don't actually put soap in and wash it. I just wet it down and I shake it. I shake it really hard, and then I put it in the washer and let it just crumble and turn it and turn that thing around. And that is going to really give you a great, great edge. And this one has probably only been washed a couple of times. Look at that. I've got a really nice spray right there. But I tell you, you have to put a good movie in, and you have to just sit and trim, trim, cut, 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 because cutting all of those little slits right there, that can get really, there's a lot of cutting. But it makes it worth it because it is so cute. I think it's cute. All right, I don't know if it even worked out for you today. Well, I have to tell you, my internet has been crazy today. It's not worked very well. Maybe it's the heat, I don't know. But when I was trying to get on this morning to do my Facebook work, it was really, really slow. And I thought, oh, don't mess with me tonight. I've got to go live. So if it hasn't been good for you today, I'm sorry. I'll go back and try to watch it later and see if I can figure out maybe what was going on. But it could be just the internet for sure, Heidi. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Because I think I lost quite a few of you. This was probably really difficult to watch if you couldn't hear me or if I was all garbled, if Michelle was talking over me, whoever that was, who was that? um, I apologize. All right. I hope it's something that will be valuable to you that you can still use, even though maybe you couldn't hear everything I said, or maybe my words didn't match my mouth. I read it. All right, we have just talked about all of the rag quilts, and I love it. You've never even made a rag quilt. I'll tell you something I've never made, and I'm never going to make. I'm never going to make a t-shirt quilt ever, ever. I'm not even going to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'll look at yours and say, "Oh, that is so pretty," but I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry that we're great today. All right. Remember, next Friday is Kaya, not tomorrow. Friday, or 29th, is Kaya's going to be here at 10 o'clock in the morning. We're going to see all of her friends. That will be amazing. She is a darling girl. And when you invite your friends to join our group, make sure you double check with them and ask them if they get accepted. All right, because they won't count until they've. Oh, all right, everybody. I will try to check in with you later, maybe tomorrow, and let you know how the classes are going. I'm, yeah, and I'm going to go do something fun. All right, donut. I don't know. My grandkids coming tomorrow. They want donuts. All right, everybody. Thank you for sticking with me, and I'm sorry it wasn't perfect today. I'll try and figure out what was going on. Ah, someone has said that made a rag quilt. I still have the binding to it. So now you don't have to do binding. Remember, rag quilt, you can get a border on it with another rag and stuff. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for being part of it. I love it, love it, love it. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next time. Okay.